Having been left behind by power creep quite a long time ago, the M46 recently got a much-deserved buff. Improvements to gun handling, and I think there were maybe some other things. Either way, it's now much more viable. It's not to say it wasn't before, it's just more competitive now. So this game's off to a good start already. The tank that spawned next to me was a Pershing with the 105mm derp gun. A tier 5 gun on a tier 8 medium in tier 9 match. Yep. I begin by heading for the lumberyard, which is typically what I do in a medium on this map. Except something rather atypical happens in this match. Now usually I can push in here without being spotted. Instead we have a JP2 suiciding him. He bounces his first shot, while I can't really process what's going on. I'm not used to tanks being this aggressive, particularly JP2s. He lands one damaging hit before being slam dunked. Now that's a waste of a very good tier 8 tank destroyer to put in one shot of damage on a medium tank. I'm not sure why he thought that was going to be a good idea. Well, looking at his stats, he probably didn't think. But either way, it's got an early advantage on the board for us. I now have an E75 to deal with, plus whatever happens to be hidden behind supporting him. Sort of poke down this way first to see what's here. I decide no, I'll just go see what the E75's up to instead. And while he's distracted by somebody else, I manage to get a shot through his lower plate. His side scrape might work against them, but it won't work against me at that angle. Enemy 132 comes up on my side, but he doesn't want to be hit, so I just leave him alone for now. He's not that much of a problem. And I take the spotted arty instead. My teammates clean up the Wheezy, leaving me to handle the E75 and his leopard friends. Our 1390 comes in to support me. He keeps the leopard occupied. Now this leopard only has a 90mm gun, so he's not much of a threat to me. I just didn't want to risk losing hit points with this thing around. A JT. And that is actually a threat to me. I'm not stupid enough to drive directly in front of a loaded JT, so I wait for him to shoot at the AMX before I come in and pop him in the lower plate. I want to see if he's still looking, but if I pop out, he's probably going to track me. So I decide against it. Also, it looks like the E75's pushing, so I have to go handle him instead. The fight in town is getting pretty messy, and our IS is a bot. But it looks like we might have this if I can just stay alive. Fortunately that shot only tracks the E75, but our arty is busy getting work done. Now that shot, that should have been APCR. The E75's turret sides are actually surprisingly thick. That was just bad angle, but the first bounce there was a mixture of angle and thickness. The sides of an E75's turret aren't a problem for my scent or my Wheezy, but they are a problem for the Patton. I'd forgotten that because I haven't played it for so long. Here the E75 gets brave. He decides to charge me, which isn't the best of plans because I reload a hell of a lot quicker than he does. In fact, if he backed up there, he may have been safe. Instead, he pushes, giving me perfect side shots, and so I can finish him off. Aside from the interesting start to the match, it's pretty cruisy. I mean, any game where I can get that much damage without really trying is a good game. things could have gone better in the town, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and our guys in the Lumberyard, I think, made up for the complete clusterfuck that happened in the Thunderdome. So for those of you who haven't maybe played the M46 in quite a while, you might want to check it out again. It's no world ender, but it's certainly a lot nicer feeling to play than it used to be. The gun handling improvements really, really were needed, and they're an absolute godsend. I don't think it'll be dethroning the Cent as my favourite hold-down medium, but it's certainly going to be played a lot more, I think.